Alright, good afternoon class. I'm Specialist Myself. I'll be your instructor for today. The task today will be 071 Charlie Oscar Mike 1016 Converting Azimuth. The risk assessment for today is going to be low. However, there could be possible hazards. This is going to be a virtual presentation. Be mindful of any electronics, any tripping hazards, any furniture. Just keep a good situational awareness. Any liquids that you might have around electronics, make sure they're covered up. Keep a bottle top on them, any type of cover. Make sure you don't hit any fragile equipment, break anything. In the event of a fire, locate your safest fire escape route. If you do not know it, find it on your building if you can. It will have it listed. In the event of an active shooter, we are run, cover, fight. Run away from the situation. If you cannot, find some cover. And all else fails, we're bringing the fight to them. We're also a green army, so that means reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce the amount of trash you are using, recycle anything that can be used, as well as reuse anything that can be used as well. Recycle paper and bottles, plastic. Alright, the PCCs and PCIs for this class will be pen, paper, and a water source. I have my water source as well. I have pen, I have paper right here. So I'm with y'all. I'll be conducting those PCCs and PCIs individually. Okay. So again, I'm Specialist Mosap. I will be an instructor for task 071, Charlie Oscar Mike 1016, Converting Azimuth. I will be reading verbatim off of the task given, as well as giving my own block of instructions. So the conditions for this task are: you are a member of a squad preparing to conduct tactical movement, and you have been directed to convert azimuths in preparation for the movement. You have been given a 0 to 50,000 military map with a declination diagram, pencil, paper, a magnetic azimuth, and a grid azimuth. Some iterations of this task should be performed in Mach 4. The standards for this task are: convert an azimuth into a back azimuth, convert a magnetic azimuth into a grid azimuth, and lastly, a grid azimuth into a magnetic azimuth without error. The safety risk for this class is very low. Again, it can be performed in Mach 4 sometimes. Alright. First statement for this task: you're going to note that the north and south lines designate grid north on your map. The north and south lines designate grid north on your map. The compass needle points magnetic north. The grid magnetic, or known as the GM angle, you'll hear that a lot. The grid magnetic angle is the angle difference between grid north and magnetic north. Warning: when converting azimuths into back azimuths, extreme care should be exercised when adding or subtracting 100 degrees. A simple mathematical mistake could have disastrous consequences. So when converting an azimuth into a back azimuth, at 180 degrees, if the azimuth is 180 degrees or less. So if it's below 180, you're going to add 180 to that current azimuth. Back azimuth, if it is 180 degrees or more, you're going to subtract 180. Again, if it's 180 degrees or more, you're going to subtract 180 to that current azimuth. All right. Converting a magnetic azimuth to a grid azimuth. Note: to convert a magnetic azimuth to grid azimuth, subtract the GM angle, the grid magnetic angle. Locate the GM angle, which is part of the declination diagram. I'll be showing you the diagram. It's going to be this one right here. The declination diagram shows both a graphic picture of the GM angle and provides a written summary of the GM angle. This written summary includes the date of the GM angle and the actual angle in both the degrees and mils. All right. Okay, so the first task is going to be, this is going to be the diagram. It's going to be the continuous diagram that we're going to be using throughout this whole session. So you're going to have your grid north, your magnetic north, and the first task is going to be determine if it is a easterly or westerly, if the angle is easterly or westerly. So you're going to see this diagram plenty of times. Same diagram. We have a 9.5 degree GM. So apply the mathematical formula to convert magnetic azimuth to a grid azimuth. Add an easterly GM to a magnetic azimuth to obtain a grid azimuth. Subtract a westerly GM angle from a magnetic azimuth to obtain a grid azimuth. So it's going to show it right here. Magnetic grid. This is going to be a 9.5 degree GM angle right here. So this is going to be in an easterly movement because you are going from the north to the east. As well as you're going to be adding. So the GM angle, say if this was 190 degrees, if this was 190 degrees and the GM angle reads 9.5, you're going to add. So that would make it a 199.5 degree angle. And then vice versa. When it's on the westerly side, you'll be subtracting. Okay. Step 3, converting a grid azimuth to a magnetic azimuth. This one's going to be very, very similar, except it's going to be completely opposite. Locate the GM angle, which is part of the declination diagram, at the bottom of your map. The declination diagram shows both a graphic picture of the GM angle and provides the written summary of the GM angle. The written summary includes the date of the GM angle. So again, this is going to be the same concept, same diagram. Okay, so we're going to apply the mathematical formula to convert a magnetic azimuth to a grid azimuth. Subtract the easterly, keyword subtract. It's different from the previous one. Subtract the easterly GM angle from a grid azimuth to obtain a magnetic azimuth. On the westerly GM angle, you're going to add to a grid azimuth to obtain a magnetic azimuth. So it's going to be completely different. Grid, your magnetic, 9.5, still the 9.5. So you're going to subtract now that it's easterly. We are trying to get the magnetic from the grid to the magnetic. If it was to go westerly, we would add. It's completely flip-flop. All right. With that said, easy peasy lemon squeezy, I'm going to give you all a task to do. So your first task, which I will be evaluating you on, you will be doing a small little practice eval. The eval will be 6 questions. You will contain 2 questions of each of the 3 steps, and you will be given the same diagram, and you will convert from back azimuth, from magnetic to grid, and from grid to magnetic. You'll have 5 minutes to complete this assignment. Assignment's done. Alrighty. So now that our time's up, we're going to reinstate that the conditions is you were a member of a squad preparing to conduct a tactical movement, and you have been directed to convert azimuth. In preparation for the movement, you have been given 1 to 50,000 military map with a declination diagram, pencil paper, magnetic azimuth, and a grid azimuth. Some iterations of this task should be performed in Mod 4. Again, the risk assessment was low. All right. So the task that you were given for evaluation was you were to convert an azimuth into a back azimuth. You were to convert a magnetic azimuth to a grid azimuth, and a grid azimuth to a magnetic azimuth. If you have any PMs that were failed, evaluation will be over. If you failed the eval or the test, you will be sent for a retrain and a reevaluation at a later time and date. At this time, we are going to police call. We're going to police call any of the trash that you may have consumed, as well as we're going to conduct an AAR. So with our AAR, we're going to set a few ground rules. The AAR, everyone has a right to speak, and I encourage maximum participation. Please don't talk over each other, and as always, be respectful of differing viewpoints. So the first question is, what was supposed to happen? What did happen? What went right and wrong? And what are some improvements? Are there any questions? All right, if there are no more questions, that concludes this class. At this time, I'd like to close out this work.